Hello, crafty friends. Creative Juice by Lonnie here in the Stampin' Studio again on Monday. We are doing a series of mailable items, including gifts and all sorts of fun flat things. If you've missed any of the past things, you can check them out on Creative Juice by Lonnie. And it looks like we are live now. So there we go. We're ready to go. Okay, today, and I apologize, I have a little bit of allergies, but we're going to work through that anyway because we can still stamp while we are having allergies. So let's do it and say hello as you are coming in live or on a replay, so I know which of my crafty friends have joined me here today. We are going to use today. I'm making a mailable magnet frame. And I hope that is something that you might give a little thought to and do one for somebody that is one of your friends. So I'm going to be using the Floral Delight Designer Series paper. Hello, Elaine. Happy to have you here with me. That was a tongue twister today. So this is in our spring mini catalog. Such pretty paper. And I thought I would I just grabbed a couple of photos. This was with my friend Heather. She's one of my teammates at our Stampin' Up! On stage. And I thought, okay, I'll make one for her because it has both of us there together. Excuse me. I can hear like a rasping in my throat, and I'm like, what is going on? Let's straighten you up here a little bit. Okay. So what I have here is a magnet sheet. You can buy these on Amazon. One side it has an adhesive, and they are thin enough that you can cut on your paper trimmer, or if you have a bigger paper cutter, that will work too. So I've cut it down to a card size, so this will fit into an A2 envelope. So it is 4.25 inches by 5.5 inches, just like our normal finished cards. You could make a 5x7 since this. Oh, it looks like I cut it down. Apparently, one of them is not right. Which one's not right? Apparently, I need to cut this one down. Okay, we'll do that. Oh my goodness! Pardon me. So you could do a 5x7, is what I was going to say. A 5x7 and mail it in a larger envelope or whatever size you would like to make for you to frame your photo. So I've got both of these now at the right size. Woohoo! That makes it easier. You can use any large die. I'm going to use our everyday arches today, and I'm using the second largest arch for mine. So let's start by peeling off the adhesive. This is the part you'll want to be careful on because you want to get this on as close as possible. I actually cut my paper I'm going to do it sideways this way because I might be able to do it better. Let's see if I get my head in your way. Let me know. So I've cut my paper just slightly bigger, and in the event that you have a little piece of extra like this or like this, go ahead and just chop it off with your trimmer. There are no mistakes in crafting, just opportunities to embellish. All right, so we're just going to cut it down slightly smaller so I don't have that extra piece hanging off there. Okay, we're pretty much good. I have a little bit of black right there, but I'm not going to worry about it because it's going to be covered up. I'm going to put that on the bottom. Nobody will even notice. Okay, now we're going to cut out the center of our frame. Now, if you wanted to have the center of the frame, we're going to use this. This is going to become another palette for another magnet right here. So if you wanted this to be a different pattern, like the back side of this paper, let's say that I wanted to have this on the front, but I wanted in the center, I wanted to have this. You would cut your piece of paper down to the right size, 5.5 by 4.25. Cut the center out, then then adhere it to the front of your magnet sheet. Put your frame your opening on it again and cut it out so that you could use the back side in the center. I hope that made sense. I'll show you what I mean in just a minute because I have one that's already made. Okay, so we're going to bring this in. You may want to use a little bit of washi tape to hold this in place. So I'm going to kind of center it, I think about right there. Okay, let's bring in our big cut and emboss machine. We're going to just chop the center right out of our frame. You may need to go through twice because this is a thicker material than paper. Ooh, 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 and it's going to work your muscles. I'm going to come back, run it through twice. So I make sure that it goes all the way through the magnet sheet. Okie dokie. Now, hopefully you can see that it's cut through all the way on the back like this. And we're going to carefully pull this apart. Let's take off our die first. Ooh, I don't want to pull off my paper. Looks like I am. Let's come this way. Carefully take off your washi tape. I got a little extra there, but not noticeable enough for me to worry about. And then just kind of push that all the way out. So this piece becomes the magnet frame, and it will hold your picture behind it like this. So that one is kind of almost ready to go. I just need to put one more little thing on it. I think it's such a cute little magnet. Now, let me show you my other finished one that I actually did this morning. I had this one that says, "So thankful for you." Pardon me. And since Elaine is here watching, I printed out another one. Look, Elaine, it's you and me. And that one I could cut down and make it go this way like that. All right. So you may have a little extra magnet if you have a smaller opening, and you could use it so that it could be switched out. So let's say that I wanted to switch out my frame for another friend at a different time. So there you go. You can switch it out. And but if you just want it to be just you, I'm going to make this one just Heather and I. You can go ahead and I'm going to cut off a little bit of this on the top. You can go ahead and adhere it to the back side of your magnet with regular tape or glue dots. I'm going to use a few glue dots here. Okay, so I'm going to do it in all four corners. And since it's nice and flat, this does mail and it also bends, so it's kind of handy. It's kind of a fun little gift to mail. All right, so let's look at it this way and make sure I get it lined up where I want it to be. Cute, okay. And then I wanted to, of course, you have to embellish it a little bit. So I took the Crafting with You. Hello, Carlene. Crafting with You stamp set. And it has some fun little dies like this one that's a hoop, an embroidery hoop. This paper was also part of the Floral Delight. It has a little bit of a pattern there on the back of it. And then I just cut out two of these flowers out of the same paper. And I put it all together, embossed my sentiment from the same little thing. You inspire me. So now this one is ready to mail. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have this centerpiece. I should bring that back down here. Let me bring it closer so you can see it. Moving all my trash off here. And this one, let's get my little, let's see if this is, yep. This is my magnet tray, and you can see that this will stick to like your refrigerator, a little refrigerator magnet, especially when you have all four of the edges on the refrigerator. So here's our cute magnet, but what are we going to do with the middle? Let's check it out. Okay, so we have this one and this one. All right. We got two of them ready to go right here. I'm going to move it around. Here we go. But we've got this center section. So with this one, well, no, I'll show you that in a minute. We'll just make this one. So I've got my arch right here. I've cut out a slightly smaller arch, and we're going to decorate it with this. So this is two magnets in one. Same stamp set, crafting with you, because both of these people are, well, all three of these people are on my Stampin' Up! Team. So I'm going to make this into a crafting themed magnet. Life is better when you're crafting, it says. And I've stamped that in with my early espresso. Then I've taken the liberty to cut out a few little things. I've already got this crafting with you set has the coolest little dies. So some of them, like I said, the embroidery hoop is a kind of a standalone die. It doesn't necessarily have anything that goes in it. It has a ruler. We're going to cut out some scissors in a minute. And then it has a little Stampin' Trimmer. So I've taken my Stampin' Trimmer, put a little piece of the same Designer Series paper in there, and it's ready to go. And I've also stamped a cut and emboss machine like we just used. So we're going to kind of just put these onto see how we can put it onto our little magnet. Actually, let's put this on first because our magnet is pretty big. It's a pretty large palette that we're going to work with here. So I wanted it to have this yellow piece is a little easier to read when I've stamped on it. So I've done the yellow piece. Now I can kind of group all of my little pieces together. I've got a ruler that is cut out. Let's cut out. I wanted to show you how to do the scissors. And I may have shown you this before, but I'm going to quickly cut them out. I'm not going to bring back the cut and emboss machine. You'll just have to trust me. I'll show you what it cuts out. So it cuts out two pieces, two sides of your scissors. One of these dies cuts out two sides of the scissors like that. And I used our silver foil sheets, so it really looks like a pair of scissors. I'll put that back over there for a second. Okay, but what I want it to look like is one of our paper snips like this. So I'm going to just take my Sharpie marker. I need a little piece of paper. Where's my scrap paper? I have some underneath here somewhere. Oh, let's grab one of these. Here we go. Makes it easier than having to stop and wipe off my board here in a second. So if you just take your scissors, and your Sharpie rather, and color the top of your scissors black, then we can put these two together and make a pair of scissors. I guess if you only have one side, it's a scissor, and if it's two sides, it's scissors. I don't know. Does anybody else know? Well, I guess that's why it is a pair. Who knows? Enlighten me if you do, because I always love learning why it's a pair of scissors. If you have two pairs of scissors, I don't know what you call it. Okay, so I've just colored the top of that. We'll take another glue dot. Ooh, when I move it, I can kind of see that there's a spot that I have missed. And I just don't want to be annoyed by that, so I'm going to color it in. Okay. Glue dots, here we are. I'm going to take this side with the little hole or the circle piece. I'm going to put the glue dot right behind that. And then just put those two together. So now I have a little pair of are very sharp, very handy to use for paper crafting, paper snips from Stampin' Up! Right there. Okay, so you can kind of see this coming together. I've cut out a few other little tiny pieces that we can add as we want, if we want to. Here's some little flowers. You can always add more flowers to something if we want to. Let's see how we can see our ruler. There we go. We can see the ruler like that. I could put my scissors right there. We can cut this down just a smidge. It was 2 inches. Let's cut it down to 2 1/4 inches. Maybe that's not even 2 1/4. That was 1 3/4. It was 2 inches. Now it's 1 3/4 inches. I didn't glue it down yet, knowing that I might need to trim it a bit. Okay, I think that's looking pretty good, and my nose is running, so apologies on that, but okay, let's put it all together. Now you could mail both of these because this little piece actually fits inside the opening to your, there you go. I'm going to have some of these just hang right off the edge. The opening to your frame. Okay, we'll just do some liquid glue for that. Put a little bit of liquid glue on here to hold my paper in place. So I've shared on my blog, if you missed it a couple of weeks ago, as I said, about 24 different types of mailable flat gifts. This is just one of those many mailable things. And I will put a link on my blog today at Creative Juice by Lonnie, just like you see right here, .com. Okay, and then we'll put on our top of this. There you go, and a couple of little hearts. Okay, looking good. I love it. Okay, now the scissors, we may need to cut a very thin piece of dimensionals to put those on the way I want to put them on. So we'll put them on like this, down to there, a little bit down to there, and another piece up here. You can pull apart your dimensionals, so don't feel. All right, we'll get all of those pieces off and see if they're hidden well enough that we can put them onto the front of our magnet. Oh, I kind of like that. There we go. Look how cute that is. So that could fit, except I put that in there, right like this. And you can mail it. And it's all squishable. And it's all bendable. So it's very perfect for mailing into an envelope. So this one, I did the same thing. Didn't even use those little things, but I used the back side. So this is where I said I cut my paper out first before I adhered it to my magnet, so that I could use the back side of this paper that came from the inside here to go onto the center of the magnet. So if you want to, now these both show the same, this both has the same paper with a layer on top. Just completely easy to do that. All right. Hello, Carol. I'm just reading everybody's comments, and I'm happy to have you here. Glad you're here from Connecticut. That's perfect. And I see Inika. Hello. It's good to have you all here. So have you ever created a frame or a magnet frame before, or is this the first time you've seen it? I'd love to hear. So those are just kind of two little ways 2 little more mailable ideas. It's amazing how many things are really flat and able to be stuffed into an envelope safely and securely so that you can mail those off to a friend. Any other comments you want me to be like, yes, I'm so glad. Let's see. There we go. We can let Carol, there's Carol's comment. And this is a little sneak peek. This little flower and the ovals are a sneak peek of a set called Impressions of Bloom coming in May. So you kind of got a sneak peek of that using something old and something new. This is old paper or current paper and a new die set, new bundle, I guess I should say. All right, so those are your little magnets to mail. You could make a matching envelope, or a matching card rather, to put into your envelope. Of course, you could decorate your envelope as well. But it also gives you an opportunity to just mail something kind of fun that says, you inspire me. So that one will go off to Heather, because we took our picture together. So, all right. Thank you for being here. I do have one more mailable idea next week for you. Same time, same place, 12:30 here on Creative Juice by Lonnie. Thanks for sharing this with your crafty friends. Thanks for being here and crafting with me. I love having everybody here. All right. And I will put a link also where to get the magnets. I just got them on Amazon, and then the rest of the paper and things will be on my blog as well. So thank you. Thanks, Nyla. I'm glad you made it as well. We're happy to have everybody, all of my crafty friends right here. So you guys we'll see you next week on Monday, same time, same place. See you then.